Spring has sprung and most of my plants are looking absolutely gorgeous, but there are some stragglers that are insisting on beefing with me. Hello, my name is Balisa. Welcome to Plants and Things, where I talk about plants and things. Today's video is probably going to be really short because I have very little to complain about, which honestly is such a great thing because things are going so well with me and my plants. But I love making the plants I'm beefing with video, / maybe I just like the title, plants that I'm beefing with. So today I decided to talk about the 4 plants that just aren't gelling with me right now, starting with this pilea peperomoides, which you guys have seen so many times on this channel. Not in a great light, not in a great light. And this is probably the last time you're going to be seeing this plant in this format because I have decided to give it the big chop, which you will see in a video very soon. So I'm very excited to do that because I've been up and down about whether to chop this plant up or not. Because honestly, I think my main beef isn't, besides the fact that the plant goes dormant and loses all its leaves in winter, and so it's not looking the best right now. I do generally think this is a gorgeous plant. I don't know whether it's dry. The leaves are like making these boat type and it's all of them, and I don't know whether it means that they dry, like the leaves are dry. I actually need to look into that. That could be a me thing, but it's like been watered, or maybe it's overwatered. I'm not sure. Anyway, I really still love this plant. What am I trying to say? I don't like it in this pot. That is what I'm trying to say. I don't like this big pot for this plant. I don't think these two complement each other, and so that is my bad, my mistake. I am going to chop it up and put it into smaller pots because I think this plant looks absolutely gorgeous when it's in a smaller pot. I actually had a propagation that I gave to somebody else that used to live in my bathroom, and I absolutely loved how it looked, but then I thought, oh, I have too many of this plant, and that was the one that I liked. So I'm actually going to chop it up, put it into different pots, and yeah, I think we will reestablish a relationship. And I think that's my biggest qualm right now, is that I do not love this big pot. The plant also did lose 1,000,001 leaves, but I think once it's in a smaller pot, maybe that charm will come out, because like having the whole bare stem situation like over here, I think is one of the charms of the plant, where it like does its whole leaning across and all of that jazz. So I think maybe it just will look so much better, not even maybe, it will look so much better when it's in a smaller pot, when it's in smaller pots. And also, since spring has sprung, it's no longer losing absolutely every single leaf anymore. And it's so crazy to me how many leaves this pot used to be so full of leaves, and they all left in the winter, which is crazy, but it is regrowing new pups. Yeah, I also think on my side, I needed to also consider what the best place and care for this plant might be. Especially in the winter. I think that's a challenge for myself in the next winter, to actually see what climate the plant enjoys in the winter / what would be the best for it. This year, yeah, things did go to the dogs, but I think it is on the up and up. It's not looking the best, right? It's not looking good. Let me not even say it's not looking the best. It's not looking good. Yeah, but soon it will be, and so I'm excited for that. But yeah, this is the last time we're seeing the plant like this. Okay, it's not the last time, because obviously in the video that I'm going to make where I'm chopping it up, you'll be seeing it in this pot, but you get what I'm saying. Anyway, that is the first plant on my plants that I'm beefing with. Next up on my list is my philodendron gloriosum. Now, this is a legit love-hate relationship, because just when I think that this plant is going on the up and up, it's like, no, that's really not what I'm doing. This plant throughout the winter had 2 perfectly good leaves. This is one of them, and they kept. And obviously this plant is beloved for its big pillowy leaves, and that is what I'm looking for. That is what I've not had. I think I've had this plant almost a year now. I have not had that. This is the biggest. I have tiny hands, and you know, It's not a big leaf, but it had these 2 leaves in the winter, and they were growing really, really well. No, they were not growing. They were stable, because a big annoying thing that this plant does is that as soon as a new leaf comes in, so this is the new September leaf that came out, this dinky little one. As soon as a new leaf comes in, the other leaves die. So the other leaf fell off now. A new leaf is coming in, and I'll show you guys a close-up. And this one is dying now. So it's like, there has never been, except when I bought the plant. Okay, when I bought the plant, there has never been more than 2 leaves on this plant. And it might really just be a me thing. I have seen other people also complain about it, but I think every time it does this sort of thing, I panic and I move it around. And so I will take that as a me thing, and then I honestly should just stick out a place and see what happens. And so I've decided to put it in my propagation shelf, like just away from the away from the direct sun, but where it's going to get sufficient sun, because I don't know what it needs, because it grew this little one when it was sitting next to my monstera. So then I was like, okay, it's probably getting too little light. And then I moved it close to my I moved it to this desk where it was getting more light, but then these leaves started dying, and then I panic. It's just a story of panic. So now I'm going to move it to my propagation shelf, and I'm going to keep it there. And I hope, because I think this seems like the biggest it's ever been. So I hope it's a biggish leaf. But yeah, this plant, it's testing my patience. It's tested my patience, it's tested all my patience. I had no patience left. I had to come back and try again, because I do want to have the big leaves. And every other day, not every other day, but a lot of times I wonder whether I should just cheat and get a philodendron gloriosum with big leaves, because this is a lot on me. This waiting for this big leaf. But yes, that's the big thing that I've decided, is that I'm not going to be moving the plant around anymore. I'm just going to let it chill. In one spot and just see what it does. But yeah, this gloriosum and I we don't have each other figured out. But hopefully this is the season when we will finally figure each other out. Yeah, because I really would love to have those big leaves. And look at this leaf is also now browning. But it hasn't died, so that's great. That's great. Third of my plants that I'm beefing with is this syngonium aurum, and I will confess that the beef is completely on my side. It is completely on my side because this plant is growing so well. Look at the root system. This is a fuss-free plant. It is underwatered, overwatered. It's not treated the best, because generally I can't see what's going on when it's in here. I don't know what it is. I think it might simply be that I just haven't found... Ooh, now I'm looking at it. I'm like, ooh, this plant is beautiful, beautiful. I think it's that I haven't found a good spot for it. And so it's just growing wonky here in the cupboard, and... Why am I calling it a cupboard? In the shelf behind me. And I don't think it's displayed the best. And so my main thing that I was thinking about was just chopping it up and selling the baby plants. But yeah, it's a plant that grows really well. At some point its leaves size down, but now they size back up. It grows, it's a prolific grower, and it's very easy to take care of. And so the beef is completely on my side, because I'm like, I don't know about it. It's just, I don't know whether it's that I should have more of the plant in the pot. Like if it's fuller, it'll be prettier. Actually, I actually don't know about it. And maybe it's also because this was an impulse buy. And I mentioned this in one of the very first, in one of the first videos / those videos that I made. I think it was the first video. Anyway, I mentioned in that first video that before I buy a plant, generally, I don't do this anymore, but I would also generally, because I'm not really buying plants anymore, but I would go stalk the plant on Instagram and kind of see how it looks, see how people have styled it, which, because this plant was an impulse buy from this lady who was leaving to go to the UK, I don't think I really thought about how the plant would be displayed, where it would look good, how it would look good, because I do think I really enjoy these leaves. I do enjoy this mature form of the leaves, but I just don't like how it looks now. That I do think there is potential here, but I don't know in what direction I actually should be going. So if you think you have suggestions of how this plant can be styled better to look better, please do let me know. But right now, this isn't it. And I think maybe it should just be fuller, because when I went to Mauritius, they had a lot of syngonium, they had a lot of tropical plants, and this one gallery that we visited did have a lot of it had this, I just remember it had this beautiful, I don't know whether I still have a picture of it. If I do have a picture of it, I'll insert the picture. But it had this beautiful syngonium that was just spilling over, and I do like that. And I don't have any syngoniums that are spilling out of a pot, kind of like flowers out of a pot. So this might actually be the syngonium to do that with. I just don't know how I think this might be the one to do it with, but it is very sturdy, so I don't even know how that would work, because it's not falling over. It's just like really sturdy. But what I also love, that even without something that it's growing up, its leaves are really big. So that is something to consider. But I think actually, yeah, I need to go and look at like ways other people have styled this plant, ways that could work, before I decide to chop it up. Though I think I will chop it up, because I think I would like a fuller plant. Every time I do this, I'm like, actually, that's so pretty. So I would like a fuller plant. I don't think I want it on a trellis though. Love the syngoniums on a trellis. Generally, I think that's what works best for syngoniums. I do not know that that's where this plant and I are. So yeah, that's plant number 3. And again, the beef is completely on my side, and I think it's more just trying to figure out how to style this particular plant in my home. I also generally have found, I don't know why I like saying the word generally. I have found that I don't know that bookshelves work really, really well for plants, because then they get constrained. So I just have a lot, I think I just need to go back to the drawing board and figure out how to take care of this plant. But yeah, that is plant number 3 that I'm beefing with. And it's literally, I'm beefing with it. It's not beefing with me. Last on my list of plants that I'm beefing with is this multiple time repeat offender, which is my, I almost said pilea peperomoides again. It is my syngonium pink perfection, which I'm still not convinced is a syngonium pink perfection. It is not looking the best, because I decided to move it from the spot where it was having a good time, where it grew these big leaves and it just was having a good time, to a space above that where it wasn't getting any direct sun. So that's one thing that I've learned about this plant, is that it loves direct sun, or very, very bright sun. So I moved it away, and then leaves started to have this washed out and yellowing, and that was not great. So I moved it back to its spot, and hopefully it will recover. One of the things that I definitely am planning on doing this spring and summer is selling this plant. I think, yeah, like, it's been okay. And I needed to grow back again, grow properly, stop looking so crusty, so that I can list it and sell it. Yeah, because, yeah, that's, I think, to end the beef, because I'm very much like over it / was never into it, and why am I keeping it, basically. And I think maybe somebody else would enjoy it, or like, more than I have. Yeah, so, but then I made the whole blunder of moving it, so now I have to wait it out until it grows back properly to sell it. But yeah, multiple repeat offender, syngonium pink perfection. Yeah, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you next time. Bye.